Back in my day is what every single hockey dad ever has said about how hockey was better back in his day. It's certainly what my dad said all the time about hockey back in his day. He would say ridiculously stereotypical boomer things like,
"They don't make them like they used to,"
or
"He'd have got his teeth knocked in."
He once even said that Mario Lemieux would have scored 250 points in the modern NHL. Hi, my name is Chayton. I teach hockey players who are beer leaguers and aspiring NHLers how to shoot and score more goals. So I remember watching highlights of Mario with my dad and being like, "Dad, don't you see these guys he was playing against sucked?" I thought it was hilarious. Like, I was like, look at these, like, even I was young, right? Like, watching highlights of old Mario Lemieux clips. What the heck was going on? There's this one highlight, the goalie just falls over, and Mario, like, skates into the net. And I remember at the time being like, come on, Dad, they all sucked back then. But what I didn't realize was that there was this one little subtle thing that Mario was doing before almost every shot he had. The goalies weren't falling down because they were bad. They were world-class athletes even then. They were falling down because of this really subtle move that Mario did right before he shot. And once I noticed it on the one goal, I was like astounded at how often he did it on all of his goals. Well, not all of his goals, but how often he did it in general. I call it the wrist flash. And guys are still doing it in the NHL today. But here's what it looked like. Why did the goalie just fall over? I was like, why did he just fall over? I couldn't figure it out. But if you go back a couple frames in the video, you can see it. Mario opens up his wrists, making the goalie think that he's about to shoot. And then when the goalie falls, Mario brings it to the other side to score. Go back just again. Right here. Very subtle. He just opens up this blade for a second. That convinces the goalie to fall, and then he brings it to the other side to put the puck in the net. And we'll just finish playing that so you can see how it happens. Mario's awesome. But as I watched more Mario highlights, I realized it was something that he kind of just did on, well, maybe not every goal, but certainly when he had the puck and he was on a breakaway one-on-one with the goalie. Here's one where it's ridiculously obvious. Wrist flash, pulls it over, and in. Look at that again because it was so nice. Wrist flash, over, and in. But we can do way better than that. Right here, he gets his breakaway. Get ready for it. Wrist flash, over, and into the net. He even has the wherewithal to do it on this goal, which I think is one of the best goals of all time. Comes through, between the defensemen, wrist flash, pulls it back, goes over to the other side to score the goal. I mean, the number of times I watched these highlights and it was like, wow, he just does this all the time. It is crazy. Like, even just after he's beaten a defenseman, he still is able to have the wherewithal to do it. Right there, wrist flash, over to the other side, and in. Well, at that time it just, he gets kind of lucky. Seeing Mario do the wrist flash was what made me realize that the wrist flash could be such a powerful tool. And when you watch modern players do it, they do a variation that's a lot more subtle. And honestly, I thought that if I started with that, you wouldn't be able to tell that they're doing it at all. Goalies are so good and react so quickly to what the players are doing in the NHL today that nobody has time to give that big, obvious tell of a big wrist flash like Mario was doing in those clips. Instead, it's a lot more subtle. Let's go take a look. So here's a more modern version of the wrist flash. And what I love about it is how subtle it is. Back in Mario's day, the goalies were so bad, he had to give this big red neon sign, "I am shooting." But if you watch this wrist flash, it is like, blink and you'll miss it. Take a look.
Kako walks in.
Did you even see it?
With an electrifying breakaway goal. Excellent one.
Right here. This is basically what a modern wrist flash is. Just raising your elbow, faking the shot to the far side, and then pulling it to the other side. I'll play it in full speed so you can see it again.
On this break, and what a move right there. Ed Skinner down and out.
Kids these days. Now, the wrist flash is cool, but there's another move that worked in the 40s, the 60s, the 80s, the 1000s, now, and it'll probably work when we're still playing on hoverboards. It's not really a move so much as it is a technique. Moving the puck side to side with your stick handling. See, fundamentally, goalies can't move back and forth as fast as you can move the puck back and forth. Your hands will always be faster than the goalie. And as you move the puck side to side, you get the goalie out of position. Because each time you move, the goalie has to respect the new angle that you're creating for yourself as you move the puck across your body. So the classic shot that we're going to work on today is dragging the puck across your body from your backhand to your forehand and then shooting far side. And seriously, sometimes I think this move is so effective, it's like you have a Game Genie cheat code. Let's take a look at how some of the best NHLers in the world use this move. Alright, let's start with the guy who I think is in the running for the best looking guy in the NHL, Jack Hughes. Notice how the goalie's on his angle, and then when Jack pulls it across to the other side, the goalie's no longer on his angle, and that is what lets Jack score.
And in overtime on the game-winning goal from Jack Hughes.
See, in this frame right here, the goalie is lined up to where the puck is and where Jack is holding the puck. And all Jack needs to do is move the puck over to the other side and score the goal.
His second of the...
Or take a look at this goal by Leon Draisaitl. Not from a great angle, but because he can move the puck across his body, he's able to beat the goalie to the far side and score the goal.
Find that scene.
The biggest thing that he's doing is moving the puck across his body to score. I mean, there's really nothing to it, other than the goalie was square at 1 second. Then when he pulls the puck across, he's no longer square, and that's what beats him to the far post. Now let's go old school, back when Jordan Stahl played for the Penguins. And you know, one of the reasons I like this move so much is because it shows you the power of not stick handling too much. All these kids these days love to do 1,000 stick handles in this tiny little space. But back in my day, they understood that moving the puck is actually what helps beat goalies when you try and score. That's what this move is all about. So my mom watches these videos, and one day she was like, "Why are you always standing directly in front of the net?" And I was like, "Oh, well, you know, you gotta work on your form and, you know, blah, 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 whatever." But the truth is, yeah, why am I always standing in front of the net? I probably don't practice enough from bad angles, and these videos I don't make enough of them where you're shooting from a bad angle, so I'm going to change that, and that's what we're going to practice today. Take a look at this goal by Kirill Kaprizov and notice how impossible of an angle he's shooting at. Now this is a very extreme one, but it's a good way to beat the goalie by just deceiving him into thinking you're not going to shoot, because very rarely do players shoot from such an angle. And even if you don't usually take your shots from the spot, it'll help you see through the eyes of the puck and understand that where you're shooting the puck from is not necessarily the same as what you can see when you're looking at the net. That is, the puck can still go into the net, even if from where you're looking, you can't actually see the opening. Now let's take a look at this goal. All right, take a look at this goal. Look at how bad the angle is, and look how he puts it in the net.
And across the line. Here's Svechnikov. 2 minutes remaining. Svechnikov puts up angle. He scores.
I mean, that's wild. Look at where his feet are on this shot.
The Carolina Hurricanes take the lead with 1 minute, 59 seconds remaining. And Svechnikov beats Thompson.
See this? He's got basically nothing to shoot at. He's below the bottom of the circle, almost. Outside and below the bottom of the circle. But he knows that the goalie's not expecting the shot from there. And that's what allows him to score.
A near impossible angle. This puck finds daylight through some traffic, and the Canes have the lead.
Nothing to it, right? That's what we're going to work on today. If you've watched this far, please like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out. But the reason I create these videos is actually because I am putting together a course on how to shoot, just like the way we just learned. Right now, I just need people to sign up so I can get some feedback on what I've created. Go to winyour38, winyour38.com, and sign up if you'd like. I'm sure your shot will get better if you give the class a shot, and I'd really appreciate it. So thanks. See ya.